In your own words, what is hashtag idiots?
I've said before, my goal for this channel is to be the found footage of YouTube. And when I start a video, I'm thinking, how can I touch my viewers' hearts? I think of hashtag idiots as more of a philosophical journey, you know? And when I keep, going, because I don't write anything down, I just go for it. And it's that stream of consciousness that really gets the philosophy juices rolling. You know what I mean?
I think so.
Good.
Hashtag idiots is a channel that we made, I don't even know how long ago at this point. It was just an idea, it came up as just an experiment, really. Back in the day, we were watching all these YouTubers, like Waterphonics, Blackmagic27, all these people that were just really influential in the creation of YouTube as a major media. And we were like, we can get in on this and we can do this better. When did you join the channel?
Let's see. Well, a few days ago.
The record. The very beginning. I want to say 2003. It was right at the dawn of YouTube.
Ooh, gosh. It must have been right before college started, I think. I want to say maybe 2011, 2012, right when YouTube was really starting to hit its prime time. I think my brother started it, actually, if I remember correctly. It's hard to say. I was working 2 or 3 jobs at the time. And when he started it, he invited me in. He and Luke actually both approached me at the same time, I think. I saw it as an opportunity to kind of just get away from it all, It's because I was working my butt off, literally working 16, 17 hour days at least, sometimes 20-hour days. It was insane. And I was like, oh, you know what, if we can do this and actually take off within the next couple of years, this could actually pay for a lot of stuff. So at the time it was very promising. So
actually, it's really interesting. So hashtag idiots, I actually met up with Jonathan, as it turns out. We were at the same community college here. I was studying marine biology, and he was studying advanced puzzle making. But what we really discovered was that we actually liked making YouTube videos more. I knew all about the cameras and the editing and the lighting and the special effects and the acting, green screen. But for him, he knew how to do sound effects. With his mouth usually, as it turns out. So that came in really handy for all of our content. Steven and Jesse just kind of showed up. We don't even remember. We've talked about it so many times. Were we trying to get rid of them? Or was it secretly within us we always knew we wanted to keep them? Either way, it just really worked out having them here on the channel. Because they can also make sound effects, but not just with their mouth. They have other ways of doing it. So.
When did you meet Jesse?
Let's see. It was shortly after I got married, and me and the wife, we were out, we were having dinner or whatever, goofing off. I don't care. It's just one of those things you do. He was the waiter for me and my wife at this fancy restaurant. And he came up to our table and he was like, would you like some salt, sir? And I said, yes, I would. And then when we had that interaction, that was when we had the idea to, start hashtag idiots up. Was
Luke already a part of the collaboration process at that point? When did he come in?
So it's funny you say that, actually, because so at my wedding with my wife, he was actually my wife's best man at the wedding. And and so that's where I met Luke, and we just got to talking about philosophy and whatnot, and that's where we had the idea to start a YouTube channel together.
So Jesse, when did you meet Jonathan?
Oh man, I met my brother Jonathan in, I think it was 89. What is hashtag idiots to you? What does it represent?
It kind of just represents like a brighter future, you know, like there's so many kids that watch our channel. You know, they always like write down in the comments, you know, goo goo gaga goo goo. All their you know, they're always writing our comments every day, you know, goo goo gaga. Steven keeps trying to tell me it's just bots, you know, but I don't believe that. I think it's actually children.
In your own words, how has the success of #Idiots affected your life?
Yes, it has affected my life. You know, when I wake up in the morning, I don't really think about myself as a YouTuber. I think of myself as a journeyman of the arts. I think of myself as a wordsmith. You know, when I go grab my first cup of coffee in the morning, I like to imagine myself as other occupations, you know? Like sometimes I'll be getting my cup of coffee, it's like, oh, today I'm a plumber. Or, oh, today I'm a, you know, carpenter. And that really helps me connect with my... I can't relate to my, you know, audience if I'm thinking of myself as a YouTuber. So that's why I like to think of myself as like, oh, today I'm an IRS agent, you know? Today I'm, you know, the President of the United States, you know? So I like to relate to my audience, you know?
Money. We've been incredibly successful. We had millions of views per video. We had millions of subscribers. And you know, there were positives and there were negatives. There were moments where I was like, just in disbelief with the success that we had. There were moments of I was wondering, you know, was I part of that success or was I just dragging everyone else down? And then I realized I was that success.
I'll be honest, I didn't see a whole lot on my end. I heard the channel was doing well, but I was like, is it? I'm not seeing a ton of revenue on our end, honestly. At least not on my end. I'm like, the numbers that you guys are telling me aren't adding up to what I'm seeing on the analytics here. Like, so I'm like, when you talk of success, like everybody says #Idiots was like this huge thing, but I don't know. I feel like somebody might have been fudging the numbers there, because I think it was popular because it did show up on trending, but nobody watched us. What's really going on?
What's a fan moment that has really resonated with you?
I think it was last VidCon, you know, before the plague, obviously. One of our fans like ran up to me. He was wearing like a Dream hoodie and he kicked me in the shin and ran away. And I turned to Steven and I was like, see, it's not all bots. Could a bot come and kick me in the shin wearing a Dream hoodie? I think that's probably one of the highlight fan interactions and one of the highlight moments for the channel.
Would you like to say anything to those rumors that you found that kid and punted him afterwards?
No comment.
When did you get started in the industry?
You know, I think in a way, even before I started the channel, I think I've always been a YouTuber. You know, being a YouTuber, it's not one of those things that you become. It's just you are a YouTuber. And I think I just kind of, you know, one day I just woke up, you know, before YouTube was the thing, and I was just like, I'm a YouTuber, you know? I don't know what YouTube is, but I'm a YouTuber now.
After the channel started and started to gain major success, what do you think was the breaking point between your channel being, you know, a smaller channel and then becoming one of the biggest success stories out there?
I think it's when we started sending threatening letters to PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye and Markiplier. I think is the moment when, like, I think we started to rise, you know, because they were scared. They stopped posting for like months, and we were able to slip into that gap. That was Steven's idea legally, by the way, just in case that's a legal problem. That was Steven's idea, not mine. So, what was the first video you attribute to your success?
Oh man, see, back in the old days of the channel, there were we had a number of hits. One particular video, and it was right as Steven joined the channel. It was the deciding factor of bringing him in as a full-time idiot. It was Goat's Milk. That video broke records. Before that, he was just an intern. He was decompressing sound for us, and Adobe Premiere was open one night, and he edited that video. None of us knew, and that thing went live, and it broke records, and we were like, we need to hire this guy. We could kick him out, take all the credit for ourselves, which we thought about it. But no. He was an idiot just like us. What does #idiots mean to you?
Broken dreams and failed promises.
Oh, sorry.
What do you think caused the lead up to the end of the channel?
Well, you know, I've been around on YouTube a long time, and you start to see this pattern. I saw it with Waterphonics. I saw it with Black Magic 27, and it's not pretty. I mean, I would talk with Waterphonics about this, and he would see the same thing in his channel. It's like when those podcasts hit, when it's just podcast after podcast, that's when you know. But, you know, that's more a result of, you know, the end of the channel. That's not really what causes it. We saw the direction YouTube was going, and we lost a lot of drive and motivation. And of course, that lack of drive and motivation, it led to, of course, the metamorphosis and death of a couple of our members. You know, it's just, there was nothing we could do about it. And, you know, it was up to me to kind of, you know, pick up from the ashes, essentially, you know.
Money, or rather a lack thereof. It's something they don't want to tell you about. Towards the end, especially, we were really struggling to keep together. We sold the house, we sold the car, we sold everything.
Our views were pretty steady. Like, I don't think it was that. It was like, I guess what I'm trying to say is simply the podcast. The podcast just killed the channel. Any channel that starts a podcast, you just know that's basically the sign. That's the death rattle of your YouTube channel when you start podcasting.
Really just honestly burnout, you know, when you're going so fast, you know, you're flying so high for so long, it's gonna happen. And there was no real issues with the channel, you know. I know some of the guys weren't as huge on the podcast, but it was some of our most consistent money-making stuff we had going on. And yeah, it was a sign of our burnout, but we really just stopped because we were tired and we moved on. Was there a specific moment that you can remember where you all said, we're done?
I think it was uncovering the real situation with the comments. Specifically, what I was doing within those comments. Luke was not happy when he discovered that. Luke found out what was going on, what I was doing. It all fell apart. Oh gosh, I'm feeling bad about it even now. And I apologize profusely. I honestly really thought it would boost our ratings. All those goo goo gagas. All those comments would just like help boost our ratings. And you know what? I think it did, honestly, because we were struggling, and I think it did help us, even if by a little bit. Because if I hadn't done all those goo goo gagas, would we have been nearly as successful? Like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you, Luke. I was just doing what I thought was best for the channel when we were in such dire circumstances, okay?
You can take a moment if you need to.
I might need to, honestly.
Just like a really burning question for you that we've had in our minds. We wanted to know what you think of this meme.
After the... Over here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think I can put this down now. Good old friend.
After the hiatus, did you know what all the others were doing and where they were? Did you keep in contact?
Oh no, I left the state after that. I just couldn't bear to face them. Like, I found some cabin out in the woods, and just, you know, I needed a change of lifestyle after that. Like, anything that reminded me of that. life, just like recording videos. I had to stay away from screens. It was a nice cabin, excuse me, out in Tennessee, honestly. Now I've got 2 mortgage payments to deal with as a result, but I'll get to that later. I sold it to, I don't remember what her name was, Paige, someone from Nashville, but nice girl. Hope to hang out. Anyway,
Jesse, I don't know. He was like, he just had a hard time holding down a job after that. Like, he just didn't. All he knew how to do was, YouTube. Like, he'd be at, McDonald's, he'd be the cashier and somebody would try to order something. He'd just say like and subscribe to him. He couldn't get their order right because of that. Yeah, he'd be working at Hot Topic and be like, buy our merch, please. Like it was really sad, honestly.
Well, so I went up to Alaska because I was done. The whole scandal. It wasn't worth sticking around anymore. I wasn't getting canceled. Steven wasn't getting canceled. But we just, we had to wait till the heat died down. I kept in touch via letters to Jonathan and Luke. I think Jonathan moved to Vermont or something. I'm not 100% sure. Luke went down to Brazil, which was pretty cool. He sent some really cool pictures down there. And Steven actually stayed in his apartment in New York, and that's where he continued making the content. That consistent quality content that Hashtag Idiots makes, I've never seen a man work so hard. And yeah, we talked a lot about that as well. There were times where, he made something and he was like, I can't put this out, man. Whether it just didn't hold up to his artistic integrity. He made a lot of videos during the hiatus. And sure, there's a good portion of them that never saw the light of day. But the ones we did get were incredible. And sure, there were a couple of breaks between it. But overall, he managed to get out 3 uploads a day consistently for at least a month. Was there a specific breaking point to the channel? The moment that it kind of just all ended?
Oh, man. I think that's like when me and Steven decided to split, I guess. Like, Jesse and Jonathan were, like, really trying to keep the thing going. We moved out into a cabin in Tennessee. But, man, you wouldn't believe that there was, like, so many different kinds of disgusting bugs. And we paid a good amount for this. There's so many disgusting bugs in this. They had to have the place fumigated. And it was, like, some crazy amount of chemicals in this place. Like, you could not live in this place. I don't know whatever happened with the house after we left. And then, like, we came back and found out Jonathan had left. I hope they really committed that place, burned it down, because, man, you could not live in that. Just the chemicals alone.
No! Well, what caused you and Steven to split from the group?
There was this really big conspiracy on Reddit that somebody was buying bots to comment goo goo gaga in the comments. I just didn't believe it. And initially Steven was taking my side, but then he was kind of like, I don't know, seems kind of suspicious. We have a lot of kids that watch our channel, but they'd be too old to be commenting goo goo gaga. I vehemently disagreed. I mean, like, all of our fans, whenever I'd meet them, that's what they would say to me, and kick me in the shin.
Why are you all choosing now to return to the channel?
Well, I guess I could just say the cliche, better late than never, but, sometimes, just you roll the dice and they fall a certain way, and, you look at what the, outcome is going to be, and then, you go out and you just do your best.
That didn't really answer the question.
It is if you think about it long enough.
I feel like I'm ready, honestly. I've matured a lot within the last, how long has it been? 3 years at least, maybe, since everything went down. Yeah, I was a little bit shocked, honestly, when I came back, because, like, Steven, thought I was gone, like, permanently. He said something about, like, metamorphosis. I'm not sure what he was going on about, but he told me, like, what happened to the other two, and I was like, seriously? No, seriously, where are they, dude? And like the longer he kept doing it, I realized he's not joking. Oh my gosh, did I do this? Did I do this to them? Thankfully, he was there to quickly snap me out of it and be like, no, dude, it was not your fault. They made those choices themselves. I was like, you're right. Thanks, Steven. That said, I still don't know where they are. So if anybody knows the whereabouts of these two individuals up here on the screen, please contact our number at 1-800-4...
Why are the hashtag idiots choosing now to get back together and start the channel up again?
Are they doing that? Nobody told me about that.
Sorry, I thought they told you.
No. I mean, that's awesome. And like, that's great that we're getting back together. I just don't know why we would choose now, honestly. I feel like this is the worst time to start a YouTube channel or do anything YouTube related. So that's a bold choice right there, to be honest.
It's because we got the budget, actually, now. So, as a lot of you might know, especially some of our viewers who tuned into the podcast, I'm actually a game developer. And the game that I was making on the podcast is sold really well. Like, we're talking millions of copies. And that gave us the budget to really come back and fulfill some artistic dreams we had for the channel. And granted, yes, some of Luke's trust fund also helped with the budget. In honesty, it was mostly his trust fund that helped with the budget. But, you know, it's just having a gigantic pile of cash to tell you that, wow, you can now fulfill your artistic dreams in the way you wanted to. I mean, come on, nobody's gonna.
Did you Scrooge McDuck into Luke's trust fund?
I did. I might not have been wearing anything at the time. What do you hope the viewers will get from the new hashtag idiots?
That's a good question. Because a lot of times when, changes like these happen, fans will be worried like, oh, it's going to be totally different content or, it's going to be just the same old thing, except they're going to be like, 20 years older. So I just want to I want to let our fans know that you can expect, the same, like I said earlier, the same consistent quality content that we've always had, but we're going to have new series, new types of content. It's not just going to be podcasts, maybe a podcast here or there, who knows? I won't be there. But it's just going to be newer stuff. It's going to be, more cerebrally engaging content, I think, because I think that was one of the things that was missing from the early days is we weren't engaging people's cerebral cortexes as much as we would like to.
Yeah, no, just more what the fans love, honestly. Good quality gaming. The way nature intended. I don't know.
I just hope they get I just hope they're just pumped, right? I'm just as excited. It's the first time for me hearing about this too. But I think this is going to be a really big turning point in a lot of people's lives, We're out here to help inspire kids just to pursue their dreams of, being pro gamers. Just going out into the workforce and just, just being as pog as possible, I think it's just a really... What do you hope the viewers will get out of the new hashtag idiots content?
I hope they get emotion. I hope they get impacted. I hope they are engaged and they are just with us all the way. We're going to put out some very interesting videos and we have a lot of stuff lined up. It may not come out every day. May not get a video out every month. But what we are going to get out is going to be greater than the content of the yesteryears. It's going to be incredible, and I don't think YouTube's ready for it, to be honest. Goat's Milk was a masterpiece in its time, but like Milk, it didn't age well. This new content is going to age impeccably, I hope. What more can I say? Do you have any anything else to say to the viewers before we wrap up this interview?
I'm just, hope you look forward to more content where we're not going to do another podcast. We promise. We swear. Please stay with us. Please don't leave. We need this. Thank you.
All right.
I love the brutal honesty. Can I put this down now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You put that down now. We're rolling.
Nice. Very nice. Available on Amazon.